I didn't always know that I wanted to be a teacher like a lot of teachers. I just knew that I wanted to make a difference. And so when I went to college and I thought back on all the people that had made a difference in my life, a lot of my teachers are the people that came to mind. And so I decided to go into education. My students definitely keep me teaching. The relationships that I have with them, it's really special when I have students who come back and visit me or run down the hall at the end of the day and tell me bye at the end of the day. I think it's really important to view a student as a whole child. And so I think those little wins socially and emotionally can go a long ways. And those are always little motivational factors for me too. I really like finding ways to integrate my teaching, and so finding like real world applications for even my kindergartners. You know, when they see that they can apply something, then they're going to be a lot more interested in it. It's really fun to take their interests and roll with them, because I feel like that's how you're going to motivate them the best, and it's how you're going to get to know them. You have to accept them for who they are and help them find their personality and find who they are as a human. Honestly, the biggest thing that has saved this year, I think, is the smaller class sizes. So we can have a lot more like intimate discussion or a personal conversation about things that are going on and struggles that people are having. They are tackling big emotions right now. Like there's a lot going on in their little brains, and so I think it's important to make that a priority. It's really surreal, especially as a former student in the district. A lot of my teachers that I looked up to for the whole time I was in school were part of this process, and I always held them in such high esteem. And so it's really, really crazy to be in this situation. In less than 10 years, I was looking up to these people so much, and I still look up to them an insane amount. They are the reason that I'm the teacher that I am. It's a complete honor to be here, but I would never be here without the incredible administration that I have and my team. We work really closely together and really effectively together, and they've definitely helped me become the teacher that I am.
I don't know if I can put my finger on exactly why I want to be a teacher, but it's just the only job that ever seemed like something that really interested me. It's so much fun. I get to see them from like first or second grade most of the time all the way through fifth, and it's so much fun to see them changing and developing and learning and growing. I'm at such a unique spot because I do have them consistently year after year, and it's amazing how they come from these little really smart kids to becoming these young adults almost, that they have their personalities and their quirks. And it's so neat to just see them growing into themselves and becoming who they're going to be. I want to make sure every kid knows that they have so much value. Hopefully they know that they're still so unique and special, and they have all these gifts. There's a lot of silver linings. Like I feel like there's been a lot of hard things, but for this year, like those smaller class sizes are such a gift. That's definitely been the silver lining from this, is just that reduced number of kids has really helped those interpersonal relationships. And you know what we're finding, like at least with my kids, well I think with all the kids we're seeing, they're resilient. Like I know we're so worried, but they're doing great. So my garden, the Nighthawk Nest, it's been such an adventure. You know, it's for all the kids to experience it. And it's neat, like we had several teachers take their kids out for mass breaks. And you know, the kids are sitting on the boulders reading from their books. So they're doing their reading, but they're doing it outside in the fresh air. And it was just neat to see. And then the kids are running and just observing everything out there, but the teachers are able to tie it to the curriculum. And you know, my goal is to have enough exposure out at school that the kids are curious and carry that through to go home. There's so many phenomenal teachers at my school and in the district that it just feels almost like I'm undeserving, because there's so many great things going on all the time. I'm just doing what I'm passionate about and loving, and it's a huge honor to be recognized for it.
My favorite part of teaching and what keeps me here is the relationships. Relationships with the students, with their parents, and even with the staff. we become like a family. Learning my students and getting to be creative in how I deliver the content so that each student gets it, that's where my creativity comes through. The silver lining is the smaller class sizes. While it is a challenge and it is a barrier, it is also a blessing. The ways that I'm trying to make it better is making sure that what I'm teaching is fun and engaging. Probably a story that has transformed my teaching is my second year of teaching. I had a friend who was on the spectrum. He completely changed the way that I approach students. He was one who had a very large personal bubble, and I tried to respect that. His mom sat down the very first week of school and was just kind of telling me her concerns. And she was just listing the things about his life. And one of the things she listed was he's never invited somebody by name to his birthday party. And so I heard that and I thought, okay, that's gonna be what we're gonna work on. It took us a couple months, but he was able to start looking at people in the eyes and recognizing their facial features and calling them by name. And his mom just called in March when it was his birthday, just crying because he had specific people he knew by name and was friends with and playing with that he wanted to come to his birthday party. And then at the very last day of school, he was just standing at my desk. And I turned around and I said, "Yeah, buddy, what's going on?" And this kid with the biggest personal space all year just gave me the biggest hug. Then he turned around and yelled to the class, "Group hug!" And he let the whole class come and just take part in that moment. And so those are the moments that you look back on and you just smile, and that's what teaching means to me. It's those moments when you see the love that you have for people spread and go further and further. The Teacher of the Year program is first a huge honor. For my colleagues to think so highly of me is, I have no words, really. It's very rewarding. So it's an honor, but I'm also just so grateful for the people behind the scenes that are doing everything for us.
Pre-K students are so excited every day to come to school, and so their little hearts and minds are just positive without being taught that. They're positive, they're energetic, they're motivated, and that obviously motivates me too. My favorite part in pre-K is connecting to the community and what's happening in their world. And I was thinking of the first year, we really kind of revamped our Community Helpers Week. We invited community helpers to our school. We added a new community helper, the UPS driver. They were super excited, and the lady that came, her name is Miss Tiffany. She took the time when we had our full class last year of 21 kids, and she let every single kid tour the bus and honk the horn. That was like my very favorite moment of the whole year because that was true joy. They learned a valuable lesson. They felt safe meeting that adult, and of course they got to honk a really big horn on a really big truck. I know it's a little thing, honking a horn, but it was big for them and a really big connection. You know, really, this year has, in my opinion, been much more difficult for the adults than the children. They're so resilient and they've never been to school before, so they think that this is how we go to school. If my pre-K 4-year-olds can handle this, we can too as an adult. I would like to say thank you to the parents, mine in particular this year. Even if they've came to me with concerns or issues, they've been even more respectful than they have in the past and shown patience, and I think that's what's helped me get through this year. And maybe this is a good precedence to set for the years to come, that we all need to work together to make this student a successful part of our community. And that's not just me, that's the parents too. It's really nice, especially this year,
to have somebody say, "You're doing a great job and I appreciate you, and I see these little things that you're doing that you don't announce, and I notice them, and you're appreciated."
I love my job, it's super rewarding. I love being able to be with the kids, and it's never boring at all. The aspect of virtual learning has been, something that we were never doing beforehand. So it's been kind of fun to turn it into what they're doing at home. Like, we make all these videos for their lessons that they have to do at home, and just making those enjoyable for them. Because they're only in our class for 2 days a week, we've really worked on building those relationships even more than we have, and with a smaller class, it's easy to do. So I think the smaller class especially has made this such a bright spot, because I feel so connected to each child, and each one has a lot more time. We just work more cohesively together. So that's been pretty great. And I think this year's helped us make a stronger team, which has also been pretty good. The program, I think, is just really cool to be able to honor your colleagues, because in my school, I feel like everyone that I work with is deserving of Teacher of the Year. It's nice to have that affirmation that I'm doing something right. And it's just, it's a true honor, and kind of hard to put into words. At my core, I'm a helper, and I just want to leave the world better than I found it. And it's just always been a calling inside of me to do whatever I can to help others. And I think through teaching, that's just such a wonderful path to just be able to help students who need it, who might need extra love. Joy is always sparked in me every single day. And so I think it's just, the kids, and just feeling like I'm doing something that will leave the world in a better place.
I believe it was my mom, I'll give her credit for this, said, "Hey, you seem to like math and science classes. Have you considered an engineering degree?" And I said, "I have no idea what that would be like, but sure, I'll try it." And so I got into that for my first couple years of college and loved it, and thought that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And then as I graduated, I started to realize this wasn't what I wanted to do. My mom's actually a teacher, and there was just so much talk and discussion about teacher shortages and things like that going on in Oklahoma. I just felt such a need for to at least pursue that. And so I put some feelers out there about getting certified to teach and that sort of thing. And 2 weeks later, I had an interview. I knew I could interact with students. I'd worked at some summer camps when I was in college, so I'd worked with high school students a lot, and felt like I had a skill set to be able to do that pretty well. The first week of teaching was probably the most exhausting and scary of my entire life, but I loved it. I loved getting to connect with people, getting to meet students, getting to get to know their stories, the things they struggle with, the things they're good at, the things they are afraid of, the fears they have, the insecurities they have. And you have so many different hats as a teacher. You're not just there delivering information. You're providing an environment for them to feel successful, for them to thrive, for them to be challenged, for them to fail, and to pick themselves back up. And so I fell in love with it, and I can't ever see myself doing something different than that. It's funny how you kind of find your way back to the places that influence you the most. It's been a great experience. I've loved it. I've been so thankful to get a job here. It's such an amazing district. To me, what gets me excited is getting to teach things that actually have some type of application and purpose. I think this year has exposed everyone's humanity in a lot of ways. I think that it's grown our compassion for other people. It's challenged me to think about new ways I connect with my kids. I think it's challenged me to be more thoughtful and considerate of what are people walking into school with every single day. You never know what is coming your way. So you value the opportunities, the moments you get. You speak value in life into your kids and appreciate those moments, take advantage of them, because you don't know what's guaranteed to you. That's the thing with teaching that's so unique, is there's such intrinsic value in what you do that, I don't think you find that anymore. Hearing, where they are and where they go, and seeing their stories unfold, getting to be a part of someone's life and the men that they become or the women they become, and it's such a cool process.